OpenAI has introduced O3 and O4 mini. So these are the latest in their O series of models trained to think for longer before responding. So the specialty this time is that these reasoning models can agentically use and combine every tool within ChatGPT, including searching the web, analyzing uploaded files and other data with Python, reasoning deeply about visual inputs, and even generating images. So these models are trained to reason about when and how to use these tools to produce detailed and thoughtful answers in the right output formats, typically in under a minute to solve more complex problems. So they are moving towards agentic ChatGPT. That is what they are moving over here. Okay. Now O3 is their most powerful reasoning model, which pushes the frontier across coding, math, science, and visual perception. It performs especially strong at visual tasks like analyzing images, charts, graphics. O4 Mini is a smaller model optimized for fast, cost-efficient reasoning. It achieves remarkable performance for its size and cost, particularly in math, coding, and visual tasks. So they have the benchmarks over here. One thing you need to notice over here is that they have mentioned specifically with no tools. When they're saying with no tools, that means that they are not using any function calling or anything. They are not using any tools. So this is the performance which they are claiming over here across various benchmarks. Okay. So if you were to compare the performance of O3 and O4 Mini against Gemini, I found this Reddit post where they compare the performance of O3 and O4 Mini against Gemini 2.5 Pro. If you see across benchmarks over here, your O3 and O4 Mini are doing well when compared to Gemini 2.5 Pro. On certain benchmarks, Gemini is slightly ahead, but in the other benchmarks, O4 is ahead. On the software engineering benchmark, Claude has close to 62.3%. Now O4 has actually achieved a 69% on your SWE benchmark. Okay, it has SW bench verified. It has 69% O3, but Claude with scaffolding goes to much higher, 70.3%. Okay, so it's not really a huge improvement or anything. If you compare with the other benchmarks also over here, when you compare with Gemini is going to be any day cheaper when compared to O4. When compared to O3 basically, not O4 Mini, but compared to O3. If you look at the cost of OpenAI O3, it is like $10 per 1 million tokens for input and $40 for 1 million tokens for output. Okay, Gemini 2.5 Pro is somewhere around $2 for 1 million tokens for input and close to $8 for 1 million tokens for output, if I'm right. Okay, so it's much more cheaper when compared to OpenAI O3. OpenAI O3 is expensive. Even their Mini is also $1 for input and $4 for output. Okay, so that was the cost comparison, right? So here they have put various benchmark on either Polyglot and other things over here. You can check out the benchmarks. So what they are saying as a summary is that their models are kind of sorta on benchmarks. Okay, particularly in math, coding, and visual tasks, right? As well as O3 for visual perception. So they have introduced something called thinking with images over here. So what they are saying is that these models can integrate images directly into their chain of thought. They don't just see an image, they think with it. So people can upload a photo of a whiteboard, a textbook diagram, or a hand-drawn sketch, and the model can interpret it, even if the image is blurry, reverse, low quality, etc. With tool use, the models can manipulate the images on the fly, rotating, zooming, transforming them as part of their reasoning process. So these models deliver best-in-class accuracy on visual perception tasks. So there is a separate blog which you can check out, which talks about this visual perception. All right. They also say that these models exhibit the scaling laws of more compute is equal to better performance, more data is equal to better performance, and they also are training tools, both models to use tools through reinforcement learning. And they talk more about towards agentic tool use. So OpenAI O3 and O4 Mini have full access to tools within ChatGPT as well as your custom tools via functioning calling in the API. These models are trained to reason about how to solve problems, choosing when and how to use tools to produce detailed and thoughtful answers in the right output formats quickly, typically in under a minute. That is the claim over here. Okay, so some examples are given over here of agentic, agentic tool use. Okay, they say that these models exhibit cost-efficient reasoning when compared to predecessors. So they're saying that their O3 and O4 Mini are the most intelligent models they have released. They're also more efficient than their predecessors OpenAI O1 and O3 Mini in terms of estimated inference cost. Okay, so that is what these charts are showing over here. So what about availability? So this will be available to ChatGPT Plus Pro and Team users. We'll see O3, O4 Mini, O4 Mini High in the model selector starting today, replacing O1, O3 Mini and O3 Mini High. ChatGPT Enterprise and Education users will gain access in 1 week. Free users can try O4 Mini by selecting Think in the Composer before submitting their query. Rate limits will be present. Okay, and they remain unchanged from prior set of models. They're also going to release something called as an OpenAI O3 Pro in a few weeks with full tool support. For now, Pro users can still access O1 Pro. Okay, these are also available via the chat completions API and responses API. The responses API supports reasoning summaries. Okay, the ability to preserve reasoning tokens around function calls for better performance, and will soon support built-in tools like web search, file search, code interpreter within the model's reasoning. So this was about O3 and O4 mini release from OpenAI. These are not like a groundbreaking or something like an advancement. I see it as an iterative advancement, but the emphasis over here is moving towards agentic use cases in the ChatGPT ecosystem. So, and one more thing which I forgot to mention over here is that they are also releasing an coding agent, right? Just like you had Claude Code, you have Codex CLI, which is a lightweight coding agent that can run from your terminal. It works directly on your computer and is designed to maximize the reasoning capabilities of models like O3 and O4 Mini, with upcoming support for additional API models like GPT 4.1. So you can get benefits of multimodal reasoning from the command line by passing screenshot or low fidelity sketches to the model, combined with access to your code locally. So they are also moving towards this, like Claude Code. They have come up with a new tool which is open source and which is available on GitHub. Okay. Yeah, so this was all about the release of O3 and O4 Mini. These are expensive models for sure. So it's for people with complex use cases. They are definitely expensive. I am somehow more attracted towards Gemini 2.5 Pro, because if I can get most of the tasks done with that for a cheaper cost, I would mostly use that instead of making use of O3 or O4 Mini. Hope this video is useful. See you in another video.